Hey, hello, what's up guys? It's Jamie, aka the FUT Economist, and today I'm going to be starting a new series on my channel called Market Talk, and this is where we're going to be looking at some of the long-term and short-term macroeconomic trends that are going to be shaping the market and going to be affecting us as traders. So the idea for this series came in response to you guys. After my first two trading method videos I posted on my channel, a lot of you guys were asking me specific questions about what you should do with your informs that you bought midweek during the sort of October market crash, I guess people are calling it, or with your high-valued players that you bought for your teams, whether you should hold on to them or whatever. And instead of answering all those questions specifically, which I had been doing, I figure why don't I just make a video where I talk about in general what's going to be happening with the market, and then based on that you guys can make your own decisions on what to do with your cards. So first, I just want to talk about generally what's going to be happening in the next few months and what happened in the previous month or so to the FUT market. So in the beginning of every game, prices are low. That's just that happens universally throughout FIFA, and the reason for that is because you can think of the income of every single one of the players as being low, and that sort of does a shift to the left for the demand curve for all you econ and finance majors. For all you laymen, that basically means people don't have a lot of money, so they can't spend a lot on cards, so people don't list their cards up for much. That's basically what that means. As people play games and people, put real world money into the game through FIFA points and they get coins that way, the income of the market goes up. And what that does is it drives up the prices of players. In addition, players shift their demand for cards to higher level cards, cards that are sort of unique in their league. So more towards inelastic cards, if you will. And these cards are inelastic because they're either the best in their league, the best in their position, or the highest rated in that position. And so people can get away with charging more for them, and people are willing to pay more for them, and that drives those cards up significantly. That's why you saw, for example, if you had bought a Rooney in the beginning of the game, you're sitting pretty because now he's going for far more than he was, week one, for example. Now, what usually happens is around mid-October, or mid to late October, usually towards late October, is that sort of levels out. What was happening before was that the demand for cards was higher than the supply of cards, and it was sort of beating the supply of cards, so the price is going up. But what happens towards the end of October is the supply of cards catches up to the demand, and prices start to dip. Now, what happened last week was that EA released two just monstrous teams of the week. You had, the hero Aguero, the hero Ibra, you had, Boateng, and some super players. And they also released on top of that some special packs. I know there are 30k packs, I know there are 15k packs. And then what that does is that creates, a lot of people are going to want to go buy those packs. So that creates an excess supply on the market, and that makes it so that prices are driven down. What a lot of you did is you said, hey, prices are going down, I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm going to invest in informs. A lot of you invested in, say, Inform Ericsson or Inform Sturridge. A couple of you invested in Inform Ozil, I think it was. And usually you'd be right. You'd be taking advantage of this short-term, sort of market crash, right? And then you'd sell it on when the prices rebounded. Well, the only problem with that is you're sort of fighting a long-term market trend with a short-term market trend. You're sort of banking on the fact that the market's going to bounce back up before it takes its sort of a final dip down to its equilibrium price that it's going to stay at until the market crash around the holidays. So what I would do if I were you, and you had these Inform Ericssons or these Inform Ozils, is that I would wait 2 or 3 weeks, because I do think that the market has the potential to bounce back up, but I don't think it's going to stay up for very long. I think it's only going to stay up for 2 weeks, maybe 3 max, and then it's going to bottom out again. So be very careful about when you sell them. Monitor the prices constantly. Check FUTBin almost daily, and if you see a downward trend in the price of the players, then I recommend selling them. Don't panic sell, but I do recommend keeping tracks or keeping tabs on the price of those players. So in terms of things that you can do now, or what I would do now, is I would take advantage of short-term market inefficiencies. Basically what that means is doing trading methods. Those are sort of the things that I outlined in my last 2 videos, so the 59th minute method and the mass bidding method. I'll post a link to them somewhere on the screen. But those are the things you want to take advantage of because they're sort of immune to the long-term macro effects of changes in the market. Because if you sell them on that night, or by the end of the week. Usually prices are not going to change all that much in 1 week, although last week was sort of an exception with the 30K packs. But if you sell it on by the end of the night, you're almost guaranteed to still make a profit from those methods. So I also just want to make a disclaimer. What I just said, what I just talked about, there's a chance that none of that will come true. In fact, it could go the exact opposite way. That's just sort of how markets work. So it's, oftentimes it's better to sort of take your own case, your own card, look at its different price elasticities, and sort of consider its own unique supply and demand factors, and then you can determine what's sort of the best course of action for that card. If you guys like this idea, having me just sort of talk about what I think is going to happen on the market, show your support by hitting the like button, so that way I know if you guys want me to do more of this or not. Also, if you're new around here, why not subscribe? It's free. Both of them are free, actually. Other than that, it's been Jamie, aka the FUT Economist. Keep your trade piles full, stay rational, and I'll see you in the next video.